gaming. Recently, GreenJanuary did a video where this is kind of like a video response to that, where he talked about the games he completed in 2011. I thought that was a great idea, so I wanted to share some of the games I completed in 2011. I didn't think I completed as many as I did, but once I started stacking them up, it's going to be a long video. Some games, there's a lack of Sega Saturn games, and it's because I'm like 90% on beating a lot of them. I'm working on like a good 6 games that I'll probably beat in the next month or so, which will be in next year's video if this becomes a yearly thing. So let's get right into it. Got a lot to talk about. We'll start with some of the newer games, PS3. Just right off the bat, it's a fighting game, but it had a really good story mode, and that's the new Mortal Kombat. And this Mortal Kombat's kind of like a prequel, kind of like every game in the series. Starts right at the end at Armageddon and then goes all the way back to the first Mortal Kombat. Has a really great storyline. It ties all the games and characters together very well. Any plot holes there were, any like a little like how that happened or how that character come from, they try to explain everything in this game, and it did really well. Ed Boon has been with the Mortal Kombat since the beginning, and anytime his influence is strong in these games, I mean, it shows. So this is a really good one, Mortal Kombat for the PS3, also available for the 360. This next game, I picked it up, and pretty disappointing game. Neil Patrick Harris makes some cheeseball lines, some funny one-liners, but other than that, the game was, passable for sure. And that's Rock of the Dead. When I first saw this game, I thought it was a spin-off of the House of the Dead series by Sega, and in a way it kind of is, but it's not. I mean, it has nothing to do with it, but it kind of is that sort of game. It's a rail shooter where you're killing zombies by playing like Guitar Hero, playing rhythm game, and when you get the chords right, it shoots down zombies. I mean, it's okay, but it loses its whatever special about it. It loses really fast, and it can be beaten in a couple sittings. So this next game was pretty brutal at spots. A lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was great. I loved how it went to 2D and played, showed homage to those classic games. I like how you could unlock the first 3 games. I've bought some of the DLC and got some of the different masks and stuff, and I've had a really great time with Splatterhouse. I mean, it's dirt cheap now. I could tell people didn't like the game because it started like plummeting in price from when it came out, but I had a good time with this. Extremely gory, not for everybody. A lot of people didn't care for this one, but I like it a lot. This game was pretty fun. I didn't think it would be so fun, but I still played. I created a lot of wrestlers, created like Scott Hall, and if you go through the Legends mode and do the story modes, it's actually a pretty fun game, and that's the Legends of WrestleMania. I picked this game up for 99 cents, plus an employee discount at the time, so 65 cents I paid for this game, and I've got more than my money out of it. A 65-cent game, I bought it and I threw it in when I was bored, and I've had an excellent time with this. And not only, I mean, it's all old characters, but you can import characters from SmackDown versus Raw and just load it up. So you can play like Chris Jericho versus Ultimate Warrior, or weird matches you never thought you'd probably ever see. So this was really neat. This next one, I got the new one that came out. This was a lot of fun to unlock all the characters and play through. I've probably beat this game over a dozen times, which is not hard to do because it's a fighting game. And that's Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Let me show you guys what the collector's tin looked like. That's pretty cool. And I haven't opened Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, just because I haven't got my full money out of this one yet. So I've been playing it. There's still, after Christmas and everything, there's still people fighting online and stuff, so it's not a dead game yet. And as soon as I'm done with this, and as soon as I feel I've got my money out of the collector's edition and everything, I'm going to pop in the Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Break the Seal and play that one. This next one, I'm highly anticipating the 3rd game in this series, and I had to go back and relive the first 2 games this year. And this was at the very beginning of the year, so this one, it almost slipped my mind. That's Max Payne 1 and 2. These games were awesome. I mean, a little dated in graphics, sure. Some of the some of the gameplay that this series actually made famous has been improved on so much these days. But it really makes me anticipate Max Payne 3 even more and what Rockstar is going to do. Remedy did both of these games, or Take-Two did the second one, or the first one, but both of them are really good. I like them. Remedy developed both of them, and my favorite's probably 1. 2 just seems a little bit short, but they're both really good. You could beat them both in a day if you woke up at like 7 in the morning and you just played all day long. You could easily beat them both. Okay, let's get into a few 360 games, not as much. Alright, one of these I had an accident with the case, and oops, that's Ninja Blade. This game, it's pretty underrated. It's not the best game in the world, but it's actually really fun. The end boss is brutal, really brutal, but I had a lot of fun with this. It's like Devil May Cry meets Ninja Gaiden, and I know that sounds awesome, right? But it's a lower budget title and everything. It's From Software. Literally, that's the name, From Software. And I mean, I had a great time with it. You can pick this game up for pennies of a dollar, and if you see it over in the bargain bin at your local game store, and you can't find anything else or whatever, I pick it up and give it a go. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I rented it, because that's how I played it. It was a rental for me. This next one's really fun. I just got really hooked into it, and I started getting tired of it towards the end. I guess that's a bad thing, but I was really, the first 3 stories, they make it kind of like a TV series. I was really sucked in, and that game's Alan Wake. Kind of slept on this title. I mean, I play so many games, and I know you guys are the same, a lot of you, that I can't play a lot of the new games as they come out because I'm working on older games. So I get the games I want, and I kind of stash them away, and then just play them as I go when I get more time. Of course, there's always exceptions to the rule where that franchise that you've just been dying to play comes out, and that takes all priority away from you. I know all about that. But Alan Wake, I was sorry I slept on it so long because it was excellent. I wish I would have played it while there was still buzz on the internet and everything. This next one's really fun. I bought it right when it came out. I was doing pre-orders for the store I work at, and I saw it on the pre-order sheet and with the collector's edition and everything, and I had to pick it up. I got some of the I didn't want to pull out the collector's editions and stuff, so I just rented another copy to show you guys. Death Smiles. This is a really fun shoot 'em up. Very, very good looking 2D. You can play co-op, and it's just loads of fun. There's totally so many different modes and different things you can lock in this game that you can play it for hours and hours and hours. This next one I've been playing through, and I beat it through, and then I just decided in anticipation for Sonic Generations, I deleted it, and now I'm beating it through again. And that's Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Yeah, there's some mechanics towards the end, or the later levels start falling apart. The best levels are the ones that they showed in the demo and stuff like that they had a chance to really polish over and everything. I think the game starts kind of losing the polish it had from the beginning towards the end of the game. I don't know if any of you guys agree. I wasn't really a big fan of the Robotnik battle in this. I mean, it was yawnable. And yeah, it got me stuck at the very end where he's spinning his hands and jumping off and stuff. But it wasn't really, classic Sonic. It wasn't Sonic 3 bosses or Sonic 2 bosses. And I was, playing Sonic 4. I don't know if they've let off on this series or not, or they're going to keep doing it, Sonic the Hedgehog 4, and put out an episode 2, or if it's already out, but I hope they do. I know Sonic Colors and Generations have been highly successful for Sega, so they might go on that direction. I don't know. Speaking of which, the next game I want to talk about, Sonic Colors. I like Sonic games. I mean, I've been a big fan. It was one of the first games that made me get a Genesis. It's the Sonic the Hedgehog 1. And I'm a big fan. Now, there's been some really bad Sonic games. I mean, I think the biggest chore of my life is beating through the Sonic the Hedgehog self-titled game for the 360 PS3. That game was brutal. And not so much Sonic, even though it was pretty frustrating. It was that Silver character. I mean, he was balls. It's just, he sucked. And his teleport powers were just weak. And the whole game was just bad and unpolished and full of glitches. But when you played with Silver, you really wanted to blow your brains out. I mean, that guy, whatever hog he is, he's a gay hog. And then you got your Sonic Colors. Sonic Colors is a great game, and I urge you to pick it up if you've been like, Sonic the Hedgehog sucks. All the games I play Sonic on 360 and PS3, and it was so lame I would never play Sonic again. Play Sonic Colors again. Pick it up if you got a Wii and play it, because it's really good. I like it a lot. They added a lot of little things in with these whisks, and or wisps, and you can do all kinds of cool stuff in it. Definitely different than most Sonic games that you're used to playing. Alright, let's get into Dreamcast. That's what I beat the most of. Oh, I got a couple Wii games straggling. Here's the Sonic Colors I was just talking about. And then this game, a budget title, Tournament of Legends. Now, as cheesy can be, it is cheap, it's a budget title, and it shows. But I like mythology stuff, and I actually had a lot of fun playing this. I beat it through, unlocked every single character, had a great time. Now, it was bad and it was cheesy, and yeah, do I have a billion other better fighters in this game? For sure. But there's just something about it. I don't know what it is, but something about it, I had a lot of fun playing it. I don't know. This is a game I won't recommend for any of you guys to pick up because it is cheesy. Maybe for your kids to pick up or a younger audience, it's pretty lame. But it can be found for cheap, and I had a really good time with it. Excuse me. Alright. Dreamcast games. Now, Dreamcast is my favorite console, and I play it all the damn time, so it's no surprise that the biggest stack is Dreamcast. Let's start here. One of the first games I beat this year, Donald Duck Going Quackers. Really good looking platforming game. It's not bad. It's pretty easy at first, and then it gets, you know, about the difficulty of a regular platformer towards the end. But the reason I beat this game and played it and just had a good time is there's not a lot of platformers on the Dreamcast, and it's one of my favorite genres. So I'll pretty much play through all the platformers on Dreamcast, I'm pretty sure. And this one is alright. If you can find it cheap, it's kind of a rare title, uncommon. But if you can find it cheap for PlayStation or something, PS2 or even Dreamcast, pick it up. Let's see, Sonic Adventure 1. The Sonic Dreamcast, where the Dreamcast 360 collection came out, and I played a little bit of that, and I had to go through and replay Sonic 1. It was a good time, I liked it. I didn't play and beat through with every character. All I beat through was with Sonic. I'm not a big fan of Big the Cat or Amy. And actually, Knuckles, I love Knuckles the character in his old games, don't get me wrong, but I don't like searching for those shards. That just drives me insane. And then Rouge in the second game, which I'll get to in a second. Great game, totally worth checking out if you've never played Sonic Adventure. It's his transformation into 3D. They put out a couple 3D games and it goes straight down the toilet. But you can see, probably one of the last good Sonic games before recently. And then Sonic the Hedgehog 2, this is the 10th anniversary birthday edition. Opened it up to play it, and I just wanted to let you guys know I did play it. I beat through the hero side, I beat through the dark side. Great game, didn't see any big differences, you know, but really like this, you know, I opened it, so I kept to my word on that, and I beat through both sides of it, for sure. This next game, I'm not going to lie, I'm not done with, but I'm so close to. I'm stuck on one of the last levels, and if you want a hard game, a brutal platformer, play Super Magnetic Neo. Fun game, I've gushed about it in other videos, it's beautiful, it's fun, but it's frustrating, and the deeper you get, the harder this game gets. I've spent 3 to 4 hours, 5 hours on, you know, a level, if you can beat it with no errors, would take you a minute to beat, and I've spent 5 to 6 hours a day for 3 days straight trying to beat levels towards the end. It's only a 4-world game, but when you get to that 4th world, it is brutal. I don't think I've played a harder Dreamcast game. Next one's really fun. Wish I would have played this right when the Dreamcast came out so I could play online and all that stuff, and I know there's still a way. I'm still trying to get that broadband adapter. But with I forgot a lot of cool controllers this year, and just really had a good time testing them out and playing through Unreal Tournament. I'm not really big into first-person shooter games. I know it's hot right now, but I've never really been big into them. But when there's a good one and it's done right, like, you know, some of the Call of Duties that are out, or the Unreal Tournament, or Halo, if it's done right, I'll play it. I mean, any game. I love all genres, and Unreal's no exception. Great game. Beat through Spider-Man on the Dreamcast. It's fun, it's cheesy, it's based off the animated series, I believe, and it's a really fun game. If you're more into the comic book Spider-Man versus the movie Spider-Man, this is the series you want to go for. You still get the web cartridges and all that stuff, characters that are not in the movie. The only disappointment I have is they didn't put out the sequel on the Dreamcast, so I'm going to have to play it on 64 or PlayStation 1, so it's good graphics and then take a step down for the sequel. That's kind of bizarre. But this is worth picking up if you like Spider-Man and action platforming games. If you don't, then I would just pass. Love Resident Evil games, and I just wanted to beat through the second and third game again. I don't know why, because they're great. They're legendary. And I played through them, Resident Evil 2 and 3 this year. I recently just beat this, like, maybe a month or two ago again. Oh, these are great. All of them. I've liked every one in the series. 4 is excellent. Takes a change. 5 was, but they added co-op. It's short, but the story was okay. Resident Evil, great series. I hope they don't screw it up and overdo it like they do with Street Fighter. And I'm not saying they screw up Street Fighter games or they screw up Mega Man games, because they don't. But sometimes they overstay their welcome, and then they have to bury the series for a few years and bring it back. And I don't want that to happen with the Resident Evil. I think they do it at a strong, a nice pace. But I've noticed a lot of spin-offs and a lot of games, from the series using the Resident Evil name this generation, more than usual. So, hope they don't really exhaust that series. If you haven't played this game, it's one of the best RPGs I've ever played, hands down. Grandia 2. It's completely different from Grandia 1. It's an experience all on its own, but it's so worth playing. I promise, if you like turn-based RPGs, you're going to play this game. It has a really awesome fighting system, and you're going to play it all the way through. Can't put it down. I couldn't put it down. RPGs are not my favorite genre, but this is an excellent game. And I got an RPG binge after I played this. It was so good. I wanted more. And, it's Grandia's on its own. I bought some games, played them, and, they were okay, but they weren't Grandia 2, and this is a really good must-have in my book. The characters are great, the animation's great, the story's amazing, the music's good, you can take it on the go, it comes with the soundtrack. VGA box makes this game look beautifully brilliant. The voice acting's solid when it's there. The story's solid. I mean, boy saves girl. It's the typical RPG thing, but it all makes sense. The characters are I can go on and on gushing about this one. It's a must-have if you haven't played it. I'm so regretting sleeping on this. When Dreamcast first came out, my friend Chris had this game, and he told me I needed to play it. But, it's all about Final Fantasy back then. Sword of Berserk Guts Rage. I like this game. I popped it in to test it, and I played it all the way through. Kind of like pre-Devil May Cry. Like, if a game came out, on Dreamcast, Devil May Cry, kind of like that, but not really. It's hack and slash. It has those elements to it. It's an action game. You go around slicing everything up, and some of it gets tedious. Sure, any hack and slash really does. Play it for an hour, get to your save point, turn it off, and just play it like once a day. That's how I did it, and it doesn't really get monotonous if you do it that way, and it was really fun. I really like Sword of the Berserk. I want to check out the anime now. Had to play through this game again. I beat it a few times, actually. I'll have to say, I'll have to admit that I've beat this game quite a few times. But Blue Stinger I beat through again this year, and it is so cheesy, so good. It's one of those bad horror movies you always go back to. And this game I went in to buy Resident Evil for the Dreamcast, and I didn't have enough money. So this thing, saved my ass. It was used, it was cheaper. The guy said it was a survival horror that he liked. So I bought this because I didn't have enough for Resident Evil. Code Veronica. And I didn't disappoint back then, and it doesn't disappoint now. I've had really good time with this. I recommend it to my friends, and they were like, man, that game sucked, dude, what's your problem? But I liked it a lot. Not a lot of Saturn games, like I said, because I'm so close to completing so many of them. But I don't know if this even counts as Saturn games. Picked up Sonic Jam and beat through the Sonic games again. Sonic 1, 2, and 3. I couldn't resist adding the spin dash to Sonic 1. One of the best features of this game, if you ask me. And it was a really good time. What can I say about the first 3 Sonics? They're the best out of all the Sonics. You had The first three Sonics, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic CD, and Knuckles Chaotix in my book are the best Sonics that they've put out, but Sonic Jam is definitely worth your money, and it has some really cool features. You can lock it on. It has a 3D world, so you can see what Sonic Extreme could have been, maybe, and some art, and just really cool things to find and unlock and enjoy in this game. The US one will cost you a fortune if you want to get it complete and nice. You can get the Japanese one for a reasonable. The reason I got the Japanese one and I like it the most, and same with all my Sonic games, I'll have to go through them, most of them are Mega Drive, is because they just came out with some really cool art for the Mega Drive games, and they all match. If you look at the Sonic 1 through 3, they don't match. They have not for resale on half of them, because they came packed in America and all that. But the Mega Drive games look slick. It's all this color scheme and everything, so had to have them match the rest, right? And last but certainly not least, this game's awesome. I'm working on 2 right now, and that's Clockwork Knight. This is a really cool platform. It's so short, you can beat it and beat it and beat it and beat it. Can be difficult, you know, if you're half awake or anything like that. You know, got to be alert sometimes on the later levels. But this game is bomb. If you want a good 2D platformer, or 2.5D, I always call it more 2D platformer, for the Saturn, pick up Clockwork Knight 1. It can be found for cheap. Clockwork Knight 2 is what's going to set you back, and this will really set the tone for you and really let you know if you want to shell out the big bucks for Clockwork Knight 2. I mean, 40 bucks, big bucks. What am I? Big bucks to me. I don't like paying a lot of money for my games because I have like a lot of them, as you guys know. But that's the games I beat this year. A lot of them, huh? I know I left a few out. But GreenJanuary put out a cool video. This is a response to his, so you probably found it by watching his great video. If you found this on your own, go check out his video, because he beat some really cool games this year, and he played a lot of 360 games that I'm going to go out and buy now, because I've been wondering about them, and that just kind of pushed me. I've wanted to play Alone in the Dark too myself, and bad reviews have kind of scared me away. I can play a bad game. Once I start it, I'm finishing it. That's easier said than done in a lot of cases, because there's some bad games out there, but it's like a book. I hope if I keep playing it, it's going to get better. Like, maybe Chapter 5 was developed by some other guy, because the main developer got hit by a car, and from the half the game on, it was amazing. I don't know. Sometimes it happens. I played a game, so the first few 5, 6 levels have been garbage, and the game got really good towards the end. And I played the exact opposite. It's just like it gets worse and worse as it goes. That's more common than the other. I don't know how they put a video game together, but it seems like the first few levels on some of the budget titles and stuff are really polished. They're the ones that show you in the demos. They're the levels that get you hooked, and then it just kind of falls apart. Quality, everything, and that just really drives me nuts. But the games that get better when they go around, you know, that's why I play them all through the end. I give them a fair chance. Can't really say a game sucks unless you've played a lot of it, I think. Give it a fair chance. Now, there are some games you know that's going to be bad from the beginning. There just is. I mean, you just know. You know it when they advertise it. You rent it, you buy it, you put it in, you know it's garbage. But I buy most of the games I get, so I try to get my money out of them. I really do. I try to beat them till the end, see them through, and that's why I've beat so many of these games. Not so much because I'm just like I gotta play and beat games, and that's all I do is game. It's just because once I start something, I try to finish it. And a lot of these games I started the previous year, and I just got around to finishing them in 2011. And I really wanted to share them with you. I thought it was an excellent video. Kind of just rambling on at this point, so I'll see you next.